Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
world.
beauties. Hello, world. Welcome to the Sisterhood Rising podcast. Today I am here with the lovely Miss Yahziyl. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, darling. So Yahziyl, she's actually on her journey for birth work. Very exciting. She needs all the love, so hit her up. I will put the email down low if you're open to that. Yes, clients, call her. If you know any mothers, let her know. So we're here today because I feel like it's really important that as a society we learn about our cultural differences. So Yahziyl, being a melanated woman, I felt called to talk to you about things that you have experienced in your life, maybe obstacles that you've had, just being a melanated woman in a society that's been created.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
So, what does it feel like to be born into a world that teaches you to hate yourself in every aspect, but in the same breath exploit everything about you? It's a lot. It's a lot because the prejudice, the racism that has infiltrated every aspect of our lives isn't something that everyone is necessarily aware of or educated on. It's something that you seem to become more aware of once you make space to acknowledge it. Being a Black woman, I feel like I became aware of how the world viewed me through one, education, through not necessarily everyday interactions, but through like religion or just figuring out through like family, okay, we can't do things this way, or these are some of the experiences that our family has had, so therefore you shouldn't be in relation to these counterparts because of that. And it's very layered. It's not something that I can really simplify in a couple sentences to explain my experience, because I'm still experiencing it. Like, I'm still learning more about who I am as a Black American, because you have to think about it, like a lot of our history has been destroyed. Any information that could have given us an idea of where we, came from, or our greatness, or just our relation to like the land or the people, like our culture, was destroyed and replaced in a lot of cases with ideologies to make us feel like we were nothing but slaves. That we were nothing but a product, or something to be used and exploited. So you can kind of imagine how hard, or for those who are aware of their history, or the fact that things aren't necessarily, just because of how things are right now, they weren't necessarily like that before. So I feel like with people who are more aware of the history and the things that are happening, because it's crazy, because at one point things were, explicit. They were in your face. You're dealing with it on a daily basis. Nowadays it's implicit.
Mm-hmm.
It's done in a sneaky way. People use different code words, or sometimes it's like access, like it's really layered. So it's like you get like different spectrums of black people who look like me, who don't want anything to do with anything associated with white, or to deal with anyone that is Caucasian, like. And then you have those who are okay, but don't really have any information regarding like their history. So it's easier for them to be confused with any like anger or frustration because that wasn't their experience. And then you have those who are willing to, educate and move forward, or I don't know how to describe it. But there's levels to someone being really angry and those being, okay, I am frustrated with how things are, but let me work with this person or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
To those who are just like, everything is Cocoa Puffs and and glitter, like I don't know what you're talking about. So it's levels to it. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I answered your question.
That was really great, yeah. I mean, you answered a lot of what I was curious about. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I feel like, especially, I feel like all shades, but Caucasian people in general, we've kind of been, over time, I'll say we've kind of hid these things. Because it's like we know our ancestors were a part of things that have caused darker people to feel alienated, and we have harmed them. And it doesn't even just go back to what we've been told, like literally, like you had said, darker people just being a part of slavery. Like there's this whole story that I also feel like has been also a distraction, but because the focus isn't on Caucasian people doing it. The focus has been on the darker people being slaves, and I feel like
oh yeah, that's
the story.
That's
like that makes them less than.
That's the frustration, because you don't hear about the towns, the full cities that have been wiped out, and are still the people who are still being wiped out or erased from history. You don't learn about all over the world. Like,
oh, it made me think of something.
It's crazy. Like, we are constantly being removed and erased and not acknowledged to this day. We are being silenced. Like, our very existence is a threat. Like, our men, like, their very existence is a threat. Women, like our whole family dynamic is all just, like, being targeted. And a lot of people feel like our anger is displaced, and all our hard work is to be brushed aside, because it's like we've made so many strides in history, to be able to obtain like natural rights just for those who don't look like us to benefit more than we do. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting, because it's just like, how are we supposed to navigate this? Because every time we try to get something for ourselves, it gets destroyed. And it's not that we can't. It's just so complicated. It's not something that can be simplified, because I feel like, I don't know, No, like literally every like ethnic group I feel like has history, where like, they either have like these chain networks that they have, they're able to depend on like their families and stuff like that and build wealth, generational wealth and stuff like that. And we've done that. But, ours got bombed. We got wiped away or flooded or whatever else. But then no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. But then we're supposed to be okay, or we need to sympathize with white tears when we try to hold them accountable or to get them acknowledge the atrocities that are still going on.
Even shared teachings with
Caucasian
people.
Or just taking, I forgot what it's called, but like simply talking about race theory or just colorism or just prejudice or things like that, just acknowledging the difference. Like they're taking that out of schools. Or they've already taken that out of a lot of schools. I'm like, why can't we have the conversation? Why can't we have the conversation? Why is it so hard to acknowledge that we exist, that we're here, that we're equal, that we matter? Like, that's the whole thing with, like, the all matter versus Black Lives Matter. Like, why a lot of people will, like, not really cringe, but just, like, kind of decide in their head, like, oh, you're not for me if it's all lives matter. Because obviously we know all lives matter, but the issue is acknowledging that we also matter. Like, everyone else seems to get acknowledged except for us. So it's like, let's create spaces where we can flourish and be able to coexist, and not, simply get shot down because we decided to walk down or stand up, or to reach down to grab like our phone or our brush or whatever else. Simply exist, simply breathing. Like, oh, you walk down this. It's just so stressful. Like, it's like I'm scared for like any Black boy or any Black child just to exist anywhere. Like, I'm worried about my daughter being like mainly sexually exploited, but just exploited in any way. I'm worried that my son might, get shot down. Even my husband, like, I'm scared. Or myself, like, just to navigate or go into a spot or just be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. It's just like you're always on edge. But you want me to be calm. You want me to be the hold space for this and that, but you can't hold space for me to acknowledge all the frustration and the fact that I'm scared. Or like, it looks different for us because it's like we're constantly fighting. But it's exhausting, and it's like, to have that passed down generationally, to have all these feelings inside you but not really having the space to express it, or not understand, why do I get so triggered by this or that? Why can't I don't know, it's just so, it's a lot.
And you should be able to, as a darker woman, I like to say melanated woman, but as like people, melanated people, you should be able to walk down the street and not feel this anxiety in your chest or this fear that even like that anything could happen, yes, but even people watching you and having, like, you can feel the energy of people that have something against you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say, like, you can feel the racism in the facial expressions,
the like microaggressions, and it's like you're always relying on your intuition. Or like pausing, like sometimes it happens to me, like as an after effect, like, did they say that? Did they mean it in that way? Should I respond? Oh, if I react, then I need to be digestible, you know, because God forbid you're in the room with the angry black woman, and you know, but it's okay if Susie Ann does it like this, but you know, she's justified. But for me,
yeah, there's like an instant intimidation when you're simply just existing and expressing your emotional state. So
that's how I felt the other day. When I get so triggered. Even, you know, I'm super calm, Casey. You know, I'm super calm. But for some reason,
rub out her back.
For some reason, when we're not being compliant, or if we bring a point that is in contradiction, or just something that's not in line with what they want or whatever else, it gets blown out into proportions. Like, you know, when it comes to birth, Casey, I know I went off on tangents, but I'm just thinking, like, our pain is minimized. Like, we're constantly having to advocate to be seen, to be heard. And it's exhausting.
That is exhausting.
And I'm like, why can't we just do this at home? Because you can't benefit from us. It's like, it's...
And I will say, like, do you mind if I...
Oh, no, like, okay. You're fine. I'm just like...
Well, when you were speaking about that, it made me think of, like, my family of origin. Because coming from a Caucasian family, I have noticed this, like, kind of controlling nature. And I don't know... Like, it's not around, like, emotional states, but it's more so, like, wanting me to live a certain way so that I look good on paper. So, like... the college degree, the this, the that. And culturally, I'm sure in some family aspects it's similar. But I don't know. I guess because I have talked to melanated people who have said like their family had a harder time with their children expressing their emotions. Versus like with mine, it was like if I decided to lead my own way. Now suddenly I'm... like, they don't want anything to do with me, and I see it so much as, like, Caucasian people, and I'm just speaking for Caucasians because I don't know anything else, but they want to maintain an image of perfectionism, basically, like, everything's good all the time, and you have this and that, so that makes you worthy of being seen, and... yeah, that's another thing I was gonna go into. But yeah, would you say like in your family dynamic that were emotions allowed to be expressed, like anger, sadness, all these things? Did you feel truly comforted in those?
Because I grew up in a somewhat religious household that had a patriarchal influence. In that aspect, no, but I wouldn't use my family as like an example of what I normally experience with Black people, or just like, I guess in general, just people that you relate to or have similar experiences with. But just going based upon just my family experiences, a lot of our emotions were swept under the rug. They were swept under the rug. But in the same breath, like, my dad always taught us to question things and to do our own research. And not take things as face value. But there is also, I think within society, like they teach you like, oh, you need to take this path in order to be successful or to be of value or whatever else. But I found out, like, when, I got older and I had my experiences and stuff like that, what I really valued.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny because when I was younger, I think I prayed for a somewhat challenging life, because in my experience, even though I didn't necessarily have the best family dynamic, I feel like the fact that we had limited resources, or we had certain unique experiences, we were able to develop certain values. Like, I feel like I was able to be more appreciative of certain things, and I really appreciated having, those truths, or just those beliefs. But I feel like my mind expanded, my understanding of different cultures, different beliefs, expanded, because I learned that, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I learned what I valued. I value collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I value family. I value, like, being present and having conversations. I want my children to be able to carve a path for themselves where, like, they feel seen and they truly enjoy this. Like, I don't want to look at them and, like, oh, you're not making this dollar amount or whatever else, so, like, I'm looking down on you or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, like, if you can make your work, you can make anything happen. Like, all we really need is support and to be seen, or just to be poured into to some capacity, so that we can, like, flourish. Like, if we're constantly being told, like, oh, you need to do things this way, we get so stuck on that singular path that we fail to acknowledge the doors that are opening up next to us. Like, we fail to see that, oh, I really flourish in this area, or I really love these type of people, or, like, I didn't know, like, you get, like, the more things that you are exposed to, the more space that you are given, where, like, people can acknowledge you and see you and reaffirm you, or even just give you space to fall and figure things out. Like, the more you're able to be given that space, like, the healthier you develop. Like, when it comes to, like, your emotions, when it comes to the ability to have courage, like, when you are going into, like, the unknown, like, we need that. Like, I don't think in healthy dynamics, like, I don't think we've ever done that well with, like, a certain type of, like, structure. I don't think that's,
It's new.
like, it's like, it's just, like, it's not, I don't think that's ever been something that's worked for us, but we want to, because society tells us, like, things need to be like this. Like, they want
Box
us
cutter.
to, they need to be box cutter. Like, we need to learn these specific skills, or be conditioned to follow this schedule, so that we can get used to working blue collar, like, jobs and stuff like that. And I don't think that's really what we want to do.
No.
Like, if we're just in our natural, like, free, like, I think, yes, we want money, but we also want the flexibility to, take a nap when we need to.
Yeah,
We're really tired, or pivot because life and kids. And, oh, you know what? I really want to do this. Okay, what do I need to do in order to, like, we want that freedom to just, like, so, but in an unhealthy, environment.
So I feel like, yeah.
I know, girl.
No, I feel you, girl, because it brought up a lot for me. I feel like culturally, the biggest, so I'll say the biggest, I'm going to say difference, but I'm going down the similarity path. Because what I was going to also mention is, like, as children, so you said your emotions were brushed under the rug. Mine were like seen, but like as I grew, I realized when I expressed my emotions didn't matter at all. It's like how they felt mattered more. And culturally, what we have been programmed into is a system, a belief system and a governmental system that has forced us, we had free will, but we didn't know, like generations before us didn't know better. We've all been a part of this. But I feel like we've been manipulated in such a way that it feels like we were forced into a system, believing that the government system, is the only way to create a life, basically. So any emotions we have around the experience, even going to school as a child, I never liked that shit. You know what I mean? I copied everybody's homework. I barely got through. All of the things that we were forced to do, because that was the way of doing things, forced us in turn to learn that our emotions around the experiences, what we really wanted, and what we didn't want, didn't matter. This was how you do things. This is the only way to do things. I don't give a F what you say about it. You're going to school, you're going to college, you're doing this and that. Because if you don't do that, you're not worthy of being accepted, being worthy of love, worthy of being seen. Because when I reflect on my life, that's been the biggest thing. And I'm like, wow, the people that have not been able to see that, they're still in the system. And you have to accept that. Like, some people aren't going to see what you see, but that's all a part of paving your own way. Because you're paving a way that feels good to your soul. One that will benefit you and your tribe, like your husband, your children, all the people that come after you. That's why the work feels so heavy some days. That's why it's hard, because we are called to put in that extra time and effort and consistency into something that's never been shown to us, something that we literally have to learn as we go, and we have to gain the courage. Like, every time you put yourself out there, it's a courageous act, and we need to build ourselves up, because it's not like mama and daddy building us up. Like, I know for me, but I'm saying we're not kids no more, and we don't have someone, if we did, clapping for us. We got to learn to clap for ourselves if that's the case. Because we cannot wait around for someone to see what we're building. We have to know and trust our vision so surely that every step will reveal what is next. You have to take that first act to have the rest revealed. As women, and I feel like as women especially, when we're listening to how we feel, when we learn how to do that again, we are deeply intuitive. We know when we learn our own energy, you can pick up the energy of others very quickly. The red flags are there, the environment's there, you're like, and you move accordingly. But we've been taught the opposite. Because when you think about, like, eons ago, women were the ones that led, because they flow, they listen to how they feel, and men were taught to be the providers, the protectors. That's all been distorted, though. Even when you talk about men, go to work, pay the bills, this is the way, cookie cutter. And like I said, I feel like when women listen to themselves, they learn how to do that again. They'll see clearly all of the gaslighting, all the manipulation they've been a part of to make them feel like they're not worthy for simply existing. It's not about what we look like. It's not about none of that. It's literally about, like, what you want matters. What you desire matters. And it's about tending to our children in such a way that they know that what they want matters, and about guiding them along the way. And when you haven't been shown that on both ends, culturally, on every culture, I'm sure there are family systems within that culture that has been taught a way of being, especially when you talk about religion. That is big. But at the end of the day, we're all connected to source. We're all connected to a higher consciousness way of being that connects you to the divine. That's what I believe. And when you really get to know yourself, you can feel connected to everyone you see, even if they're not connected to themselves. Like, you have compassion for people. We have not been taught compassion. And that goes back into melanated people being shamed, being beaten, like with words, with weapons, with everything, as if they don't matter. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things we have to unlearn and like relearn, because as a society we've been disconnected from ourselves. When you're taught that certain people don't matter, you're just like, you're basically saying, when you really believe that someone doesn't matter, a part of you believes you don't matter too. That's really the thing. It's a very egoic way of being. There is like insecurity there if you really feel like someone doesn't matter. Because deeply, we all have some type of programming and conditioning, trauma, that many of us do, at least, when you grow up in an emotionally unhealthy, physically unhealthy environment. Mm-hmm. We all have been taught inherently that we're not deserving of just existing as we are without some type of control there to tame us. So with that, that's why I feel like, times are changing, but when you talk about racism and discrimination, I feel like that's why so many people were so quick to act like one person is better than the next when you talk about shades, because that makes them feel superior. That makes them feel better about themselves, to be like, oh, they're darker, they're less than us. So I'm getting deep. I'm just going on ranting. But yeah, it reveals a lot. That was another thing I was gonna say earlier, though, about like, well, do you have anything to say? I'm gonna let you, if you would like to say anything. I've been talking for a minute.
So. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, so are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, because it made me think earlier I was gonna say something about the manipulation. We've all been under it, but as a Caucasian woman myself, what I can recognize, because someone else also shined light on it for me, is generationally, we've been taught to hide, like, our wrongdoings, all of this stuff. We've been taught, like, literally, like I said, to maintain this perfect image. We don't do anything wrong. Life's perfect. You know what I mean? And we've cast people aside in our family when they've done things that are like say drugs, certain things. Like, we cast them aside because we don't want to be associated with them. Mm-hmm. And the way I say, like, I recognize things differently because I have a different heart. Well, I say a different heart. Yeah, I have a different heart than a lot of people, like, in my family. And I just say, like, I don't know everyone else, but I'll say, like, when I see someone struggling with certain things, I want to encourage them, whereas I've witnessed people just be like judge them, criticize them, things like that. So, as I was saying, back on the subject, basically, we've been taught to maintain a perfect image, and then I feel like that goes back to how we've just brushed stuff under the rug with the fact that the slavery, with I don't know everything, I need to do my research, but like when you talk about Native Americans coming and sharing their resources and things, and then patriarchy taking over, and it being all Caucasian people, and for it to be so distorted to where it's like these people were sharing their resources with us, wanted peace, but you chose war. And to not acknowledge that, it is to erase the history of it and to still carry that story to this day subconsciously. Like, some people aren't aware of it, but on a deep level, there is still this feeling when you go around a darker person, that like this uncomfortability that I feel like people don't know how to name. They don't know why. There's like a natural intimidation there. And that's why I feel like it's so important to uncover these things, because I still have witnessed it. The more that I've connected with myself, I'll say I can see clearly when someone is uncomfortable when a darker person walks in the room. And it's not about their stature, or anything. I really feel like it's like the fact that they are coming in this, there's just a natural intimidation there.
It's just, it's just learned behavior is the prejudice. Like, oh, I associate these behaviors with this color.
Yeah.
So regardless of your background or whatever, you look like this, so I'm going to treat you like this.
Or avoid you altogether.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of people that only associate themselves with people that look like them, act like them, and they're not gaining new information or experiences from other people. And that's why, bridging that gap is important. How else are you going to learn about what people have experienced, what they're experiencing now, too, if you do not talk about the very things that you've been a part of as well?
Yeah.
Like your ancestors at least have been a part of it, and yeah, even the avoidance, the uncomfortability, all these things, you're still a part of it.
But yeah, that's a part of like a sort of privilege too, like the choice of whether or not you want to be aware or not. I feel like for us, if we're not aware, then we subject ourselves into like walking into spaces where like we could or could not lose our life or just be treated a certain way. Like we need to be aware so that it's unfortunate where like we have to speak a certain way.
Or you feel like you do because, you do.
No, we have to speak a certain way because if we don't, then anything that's different from everything that's associated with whiteness is looked down upon. From our hair, like every little thing. From our speech, our hair, like our skin color, our dress, like the way that our body is shaped, like we have to be aware so that we can metaphorically or whateverly arm ourselves for when we enter certain spaces, to make sure that we're good. Yeah.
It's crazy that that's still something that is experienced. Yeah, I was just about to ask you, like, how you feel. Like, do you feel that way when you see Caucasian people in general, or is it more so around, like, authority figures or people that, you can feel the energy, you pick up on the energy of how they are, like, feeling you or viewing you?
I think it is... I think naturally, when it comes to introducing aspects that are unique to my culture, I'm not, or just, it could be like the way I speak, the way I dress, or whatever else. I'm not necessarily going to share certain aspects of myself with them because it might be something that they're not used to. Like, I don't want to be looked upon as a spectacle. That's a lot of times. That's something else. Like, but if I don't know, like, if I feel comfortable in, like, your energy, sometimes we can throw in little conversations. I see how you respond to it. Like, and then I decide whether or not, okay, like, I feel like I can talk about this. Like, this, we can, like, have a conversation. Like, we can learn something from each other. Like, I feel like I'm at that stage. But, like, like, I feel comfortable. But there's always, but it's just, like, it's like...
It's like a feeling of unsafeness, like not comfortable.
No, like,
being able
it's not until maybe it's certain, like, quote unquote authority. Like, it just depends, because when it comes to people who feel like they hold some kind of, like, power over you, it's like that those glasses that like trying to use like different
I'm imagining.
but you know, like you can choose to whether or not see somebody as a human, or oh, you know what, like I'm in this position, so I can choose to like treat you however. Like you're in my facility, you're in this or whatever else, and you know, on this wonderful Tuesday, I feel like I'm going to do this with you. Like I'm just I just feel like I don't wanna help you. I don't wanna like. It's like you have to gauge.
Yeah.
You have to gauge. Like it's all energy.
Yeah.
It's all energy, and I feel like I don't know.
You said it. You
So
know.
it's like I mean I know, but like it's just like I can navigate different environments. I can code switch. I can make myself more appetizing. I don't like that word.
But like metamorphosizing.
You know,
to
just like
the environment.
you know, yeah, you're constantly adapting. You're constantly adapting, and like if I feel uncomfortable, then like yes, we can feel it all in your stomach. Like yuck. What do you saying? Yuck. I don't like their energy. I don't like what she said because there's a little bit of microaggression. Like I'm good on you.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm good. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah. And it's
I don't want my kids. But you know.
Yeah. I know.
But you know, you can say, oh yeah, you know, I'll let you know. That means no. We're good.
Be direct, yeah.
No. I'll let you know, girl. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds. Yeah.
You gotta say
never,
no. I'll be like,
never,
no.
But it's like whenever we say no.
Well, who cares now?
But I know.
No.
No, but we have to see. No, that's the problem because with us, we have to be more calculated.
Yeah.
Like, because no is met with they're being aggressive, like they're being assertive.
I feel like that's something.
Like that's why we have to. That's why I feel like we beat around the bush because it's like, are you going to be accepting of that boundary of us saying no, laying down what we're okay with or what we're not okay with, or are you going to keep forcing, keep poking, keep until you get a real reaction?
See,
they're being aggressive. Oh, they touched me. Oh, you know, I don't know why.
She knows.
I don't know why John did this, but
my name Yahziyl. It ain't John. You know what I mean? Lies. John, you don't even know my name.
Oh, they came into my neighborhood. They touched.
I was on 5th Street and St. Avenue.
I live right next door. What do you mean?
Ma'am, you're on
I don't think I've ever seen you. We just moved in.
Yeah. So,
or like I don't go outside. Like it's the first. It's been a very long winter.
Those are the ones you gotta watch out for, though. The ones that don't ever go outside. A lot's going on inside. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
It's just be like
hidden. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I really like that you brought that up because it made me think about. That's something we got to relearn as not even just, from being a melanated woman, growing up, learning that, you have to move accordingly, which in certain areas I see like, yes, because for your safety, yes. I definitely see that. And I feel like relating it to all women and even men, but I'll just speak for women because that's what I know. I don't know many men, but I feel like we have to unlearn that saying no is like not good, like that we need to beat around the bush because we can't control another person's response to that or reaction. But as long as we stand firm, that saves our energy. We don't got to go back and forth. I ain't got to text you. I ain't got to do nothing. It's a no. But it's just like people are going to feel how they feel, and it's just how we choose to respond to that. Because saying no is so powerful, that's why people don't like it. But the more that we honor ourselves as women, we begin to see that no's are valuable and important, and how someone feels about that, that's just how they feel about it. And you can't baby them because you have a boundary. I did that too. I did that with people. I'm like, that's something I had to learn, because then you just go around this cycle, especially if you're in a dynamic with someone that doesn't like your no, and then you choose to entertain the fact that they don't like it. It can be no, I'm moving forward. Or it can be no, let me entertain this, let me try to comfort them through this no, overexpress it, whatever. And then you hurt yourself and you lose energy because you're expelling it where, a no is no. And if you explain it, then yes, but you shouldn't have to say it more than once. And
yeah, we need to get back to trusting our intuition.
Yes.
Because I feel like when we get into that pattern of feeling like we have to over-explain why we have a certain boundary or why we don't feel comfortable with this, that's when we get lost in the sauce. Essentially. And like, we start questioning ourselves, because why won't they accept it? Why don't they understand? Because they don't want to understand half of the time. And so it's like, yes, we need to say no, more so we need to have firm boundaries. But as a woman, I feel like you need to be calculated about when you decide to express that no. Like sometimes you need to give like a buffer word, as in like, okay, yeah, I'll think about it or whatever else. And when you're away from that person, I don't know, do it over a phone. Be like, no, I don't want to do this. Or create distance. Or be with someone who you feel safe with if you want to do it in person, but do not be by yourself. Do not be behind doors. Don't be in a confined space, because you never know how that person is going to be, how that person is going to react, and you don't want to take the chance, because too many of us get killed in those scenarios.
Oh yeah, when you talk about
authority figures, or just like when it comes to different relationship dynamics,
unhealthy relationships.
When it comes to like, like you just have to be careful, because sometimes it's not worth the energy, because having to over explain yourself to someone who's not willing to understand you is exhausting. So like, you have to decide for yourself, okay, this person is showing signs that they don't want to listen. They don't see that, my concerns or the things that I'm going through are important. Like, they're just worried about this and whatever else. And if it makes sense, like, make a quiet pivot. If you need to make a transition or whatever else, plan it out and just exit slowly, or just put your energy elsewhere. Just like, be calculated about how you choose to move, because
I like that. And it's just, even in just conversation or anything, like, definitely pick up on the energy and see if the person's receptive to what you're saying. If not, accept it, see it as it is, and put your energy somewhere else, like you said. So yeah, it's important. Even like, because sometimes you're not able to get out of the environment with the person. Maybe you're in a car, whatever it is, but definitely focus your energy elsewhere. Put in headphones. Now we're on another topic, but it's so important. It's all about protecting yourself, feeling safe, and it does tie into everything. You want to be able to feel safe to exist and be as you are, without societal expectations, prejudices, unhealthy dynamics, trying to control or diminish anything. So yeah, it all ties up, and it does matter that these spaces are created for people of color and for everyone in the totality to be able to coexist among each other and feel safe, and it's not going to happen all at once, of course. Like, not everybody's like, but there are, I feel like collectively it's being created. Conversations are being had online, and people are coming together in different ways than they never have, because without these conversations, you can't get to the root of it all. Otherwise, you'll have superficial conversations with people of a different race, you're not really going deeper. You're not getting anywhere.
Mm-mm.
You can't build with someone who you've been a part of this generations of silence, basically. So, yeah, it's deep, and we got to get deeper. So,
And it feels good when you talk.
yes.
It feels so good. It feels free.
We need it. Yes,
Yeah.
let it out to your chest. I definitely felt it. It's like the throat chakra opened, the heart expanded. I'm feeling good.
Expanded.
I feel great. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to get into some other things, but I don't know.
Next time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a part 2. How about that, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of energy was expelled. We need rest. But yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that for real, because it helps me gain more insight with the collective. Thank you.
Thanks for
I
having
love
the
you.
conversation.
You're the
I love
best.
you too.
You're one of my sisters. But yeah, as a collective, you know, I feel we're more connected to you and all darker women. I mean, I feel like when you connect with yourself and you're able to connect with another like this, it helps you see all, you know. So yeah, I appreciate you, and yeah, keep going and keep shining your light unapologetically, for real, because the world needs it. And yeah, trust yourself. You got this, girlie.
You got this.
You
You're
got
doing
this.
it. You're doing
Thanks,
the thing.
girlie. Yes. All right, y'all. Much love. Bye. Peace.